Hey there, at my office away from my home office at the beach. It's a beautiful day, a little windy, which I seem to keep screwing up, but about 70 degrees, so a little chilly, but really beautiful and restful. And so as I'm resting, I'm reflecting and meditating, and I've been talking a lot about, trying to recover from a lot of situations at work. The burnout recovery. And I know I've talked about how, there's a lot more to say, and there's some examples and some things that I, really will eventually get into. But I have this, I've got my employee documentation, and there's this one thing that I videoed on it a few weeks ago. The first time I saw it, I was absolutely floored and gutted, and kind of lost my equilibrium and my confidence for a few minutes there, because it just depicted somebody I don't recognize. And so I was thinking today, it's like I'm probably going to write something or video, whatever I'm going to do as I create content. And I thought, well, I'll just pull one of the statements out of that and talk about it. And it's like, I can't. Every time I read it, it's so incredibly traumatizing. And it's also kind of embarrassing to some extent, because while there's truth in some of it, the way that it's used is so completely convoluted and out of context that it makes me sound like some completely unhinged crazy person that's been running loose for years. And that is not at all the case. I have my moments and things that I can handle better. I know exactly what moments those were and what days, and everything I said. They were few and far between compared to how they've been depicted. And so I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to talk about it. I just don't know. It's I've never seen anything like this, so kind of maniacal, and the way that my boss really scapegoated with me, and just completely washed his hands of any wrongdoing, any responsibility, anything for the circumstances that we were in, because he never did anything about the stuff that we were, the issues I was addressing. He never did anything with that. He never advocated. But he certainly clocked it and kept it in his mental file and used it as something to characterize me with. But it's it was feedback. It was stuff that I told you I needed in order to be successful. It was things that I needed your advocacy for, things that the team needed your advocacy for. I know I should just bite the bullet and say the stuff, but it's so painful to see. And that's how toxic this environment was, that somebody can say such damning, convoluted, twisted things to cover their own butt, for years of bad management on his part, and many people complaining, multiple HR complaints on him. And in fact, so many that I felt failed by HR the end of this past year, because everything that I documented were things that had been documented and complained and provided to them in years past by other people, and clearly they didn't do anything about those things, because he continued those very same behaviors, and I then became a victim of them. So it's if you're there to protect the company, that also means making sure you don't have an employee that ends up in one of these situations, because believe me, even though I signed away all my rights, I have a lawyer that confirms there just confirmed some things based on all the evidence that I presented him. And I still walked away from it. But like, it's not in my head that it was a really bad situation. It's, but this characterization that I've read a couple of times about myself, it's just so shocking that I'm afraid to look at it anymore, because I think it's like, it's going to change. It has the ability to sort of change my reality and like lose my confidence and like think that I'm living in an alternate world. I mean, it's the purest form of gaslighting I've ever seen, and I struggle with it. So I don't know. This isn't a great post, as aren't many. But yeah, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can talk about those things. So we'll see.